look at what people throw away differently from a lot of other people in the similar business to what we're doing. These are resources that we should be able to think of doing something new with. Bill and I have been working for a number of years now on thinking about the next generation of facilities that will allow us to take what people are done with, but that have some use to them still. I mean, I think we can find a use for everything that people get rid of. We're doing it now in this city with 650 tons a day of food waste that used to be going into a landfill and creating methane and causing environmental problems, and now it's being turned into an organic compost that feeds the fields, feeds the vineyards, feeds the orchards that bring food back to the cities. And we can do that in a environmentally friendly way, but now we're looking even beyond that at taking that material and figuring out how to digest it first and capturing that gas that forms when the material biodegrades. And sure, you can burn that and generate electricity, but if we need to drive trucks around and fuel them with something, why can't we take that gas and power those trucks with that gas?
Okay, so ag waste or organic waste, with all due respect, sounds like the easy stuff, right? Because we know people have been composting for a long time. There is commercial scale of composting. What about the harder stuff, and how does material flows and how do we create the organism that Bill's talking about with some of the harder stuff, the stuff that has toxics baked in, e-waste, all kinds of things, even clothing that isn't quite as easy to digest as food?
Well, there are things you can do with that. We are working on some of those solutions now. There are now technologies that I think they're still a little too expensive, but we're pushing manufacture these things to figure out how to take waste plastics, for example, and get them back down into a crude oil that can be used, again, as a fuel, or ought to be usable as the input for the next generation of plastics. I mean, to me, just like metals can be recycled over and over, I don't understand why plastic can't be. You just have to do something a little different with it. In that process, you need to design it, operate it so that you can capture the toxics, not allow them to become environmentally problematic. And it's going to take lots of people with lots of brains to help make all this stuff work. But if there's a will, and I will tell you in this city that there is, we have still the goal of zero waste by 2020, and in my mind, that's not enough. That means we're not sending anything to a landfill that we can't figure out. If we can figure out something else to do with it, and then we've tried to process it. But I think working with the community, finding things to do with this stuff, trying to maybe eradicate the stuff that shouldn't be made in the first place because it can't be recycled.